everybody. Bree Lambert-Sanders here. Thanks for coming back to the channel.
Joe Sanders here. Yeah, thanks for, tuning in.
Yeah, we love it. If you guys, I'm just going to put this out there now just because I know I might forget at the end.
I won't.
That's true. If you want us to cover any topic or you have any questions that you want us to discuss on the channel, feel free to send me an email at bree@livewellfinishstrong.com, or you can also email Coach Joe.
Yeah, it can be any topic, like, running, nutrition.
Yeah, anything.
Shoes,
gear
clothing,
related. We love all this
lights.
stuff. And you can email him at 34bites@gmail.
How to avoid cars.
Right, it's 34bites, BITES. Okay, now I'm done. And so it's summertime.
Yeah.
Today's Memorial Day, and we're now into
Let's
summer.
give thanks to those people who sacrificed for our well-being and living in this beautiful country.
That's right.
I think a lot of people take Memorial Day as a day to drink beer and barbecue, but reality is, without those people's sacrifice, we wouldn't be sitting in the life of luxury, so to speak. Even with the crazy things that are going on these days.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right, 100% right. So thank you. The veterans, obviously it's not Veterans Day, but anybody who's served our country to fight for our freedom and has dedicated their life for our freedom.
And the families, too.
And their families,
yeah.
I say thank you so much.
But anyways, happy Memorial Day.
Okay, so that being said, we are going to continue our discussion around early influencers of running, and we're going to talk about Dr. Ernst van Aaken.
Wow, you sound like a German.
I know. Right? Isn't that impressive?
You're a funny-looking German. You look like Wilma Rudolph. She needs a bone in her hair, don't you think?
I do. Maybe a
little
bone.
Two bones.
But anyway, so we're going to talk about Dr. Ernst van Aaken, but before that, we're going to cover just some trivial stuff, such as Strava. As you guys, I'm sure there are many of you watching this who are on Strava. You're an avid Strava user, and they recently decided to change their
protocol.
Format and are instituting a subscription policy. And so I just kind of reviewed that a little bit, and it looks like they're giving you 60 days free trial, and then after that they're going to start charging you.
Yeah, but
but that's okay. I mean, I'm not sitting here talking about Strava because I'm being paid to talk about Strava. I just thought it was interesting because it was something that we talked about. So.
Yeah, no, they're a company and they want to be profitable. I get it.
Sure.
I mean, I just think that, people are saying stuff like, oh, they went about it the wrong way because they had this free stuff and now they're charging for that free stuff. They're taking certain stuff away. Mm-hmm. But reality is, the matter is, if you, me, or any one of us was creating a company and we got it going, what they did was actually smart. They got a bunch of people hooked on it.
Yep.
And now they need to make profitability, so a whole $8 or something like that a month?
Yeah, so it's $8 if you go monthly, and then it's $60 for a year.
But if you look at it, yes, the way they did it was probably the wrong way to do it, but I think it's worth it,
Yeah.
And they've got to be profitable, so.
A bum just flew in my mouth. That's okay.
So, I mean, take it or leave it. Yeah. There's ways to get around Strava if you don't want to do Strava. If you're not going for segment records and stuff, mm-hmm. there's actually better data stuff out there, but whatever. I mean, I think Strava's cool. So
yeah, no, so do
I'm gonna end up paying for it.
And I would agree with you. If you're somebody who has other means of collecting data, such as Runkeeper, or you have Stride, you use a Stride pod. I mean, you can certainly capture that information there as well. If you have Garmin has an excellent app for collecting very similar data, but they just don't do the whole segment leaderboards and all that, which I think is where Strava has really channeled that market.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that if you are a Strava user and it's an application that you really have found to be useful, then yeah, man, pay for the subscription. Pay your $60 and be done with it. So anyway, that's that. And other thing we wanted to talk about.
$60?
It's $60 for the year.
Oh, for the year.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that you wanted to talk about is prime time.
Yeah, prime time.
I'm not talking about television.
No, not prime time, but prime time in terms of. Okay, so me personally, right over here, we're right next to a park that I personally love to do loops around. I've been doing loops
Many
around
loops.
it when I was a professional duathlete. I do all my intervals over there. Got into really good shape over there, and I like it.
Over there.
But now with the pandemic, I'm not going to say the C word, no C word, the pandemic. Uh, there's a lot of walkers over there, and they all have their painters masks on uh, and stuff. Their dust masks and stuff, and I want to be like, sensitive to them because they don't understand how viruses work, obviously, but it's cool. So I do everything I can to avoid them, but still, the reality of the matter is, and we saw this thing on I think it was Facebook, that walkers don't like to be around runners because runners are breathing hard, even though it's carbon dioxide coming out. There's still germs in there, right? And so they can get sick. So my thought is this for you runners, for you early morning people, get out extra early, avoid the heat, avoid the people, fresh air, nice and cool. Great way to start your day. I'm personally have not been a 5 a.m.er since I was a triathlete swimming. I told myself when I was done with that, I am not getting up that early ever again in my life to stare at a black line for an hour and a half in the morning. So the second thing is, coming around the topic here, is that for you guys who want to do your heat training, go out at the hottest part of the day. I guarantee you there's nobody out there.
Yep.
Trails will be empty. You'll have everything to yourself, and you can get your heat training in, number one. Number two, make sure you stay on your hydration and your minerals. Number three, you're going to get a better workout because of the stress of the heat on your body.
Yeah, your blood plasma.
You will actually gain fitness running in a heated day as long as you're smart and you hydrate.
Yeah, hydration.
And if you're not hydrating, then you need to. Yes, that's what you need to do.
Yeah, you need to hydrate, period.
Oh, I'm going to stop drinking coffee.
Good.
So
excellent. Thank you.
That's my prime time day talk.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now let's talk about Dr. Ernst.
Oh, yeah.
So I had never heard of Dr. Ernst von Aaken, and Joe enlightened me. And so I'm going to let you lead this conversation. And
Yeah, sure, whatever.
I'll interject accordingly. However, I wanted to hear why is Dr. Ernst von Aaken so influential?
Other than the fact that he's German? I'm just joking. No, he was a really cool dude. He was around, did a lot of studying of running in the 20s when Pavel Nurmi was running. He was watching him train and taking, the German people, they look at things very logically. They like to break stuff down. And so that's what he did. And he understood, being a doctor, he understood physiology for what it was at that time. And he applied it. And he worked with Harold Norpoth, who was a German runner who was the silver medalist in the 64 Tokyo Olympic 5,000 meters. And so basically what he did was he understood that the moment you start building lactate, you start destroying capillary beds. And so he thought that the human body was designed to be an aerobic machine, and that if you could build the aerobic capacity of that machine, your heart, lung, and so forth, at a lower heart rate, that you would be a much more efficient runner, and that you would be able to run in that aerobic zone for a longer period of time, no matter what distance you ran. Now, it's similar to what Lydiard did. The difference is with Lydiard is Lydiard had multi-tiered training, where Dr. Ernst van Aaken was always about being in the aerobic zone, even when they would do their repeats, the longer repeats, 1K, 2K, 3K, whatever it was, he would have them just below lactate, so that he wasn't he was trying to maintain that aerobic fitness. He was trying to maximize it, and he would try to maximize it in many ways. He was an early advocate on being as light as possible while being strong. So he believed in fasting, which was really interesting. And now we know all the benefits of fasting, and it turns out he was 100% correct. He was also 100% correct in terms of the aerobic conditioning. And what was really killer about this guy before his time is, yes, he had his runners do speed, but it was very short duration speed. It was so short that, and he even states it, that they would not build up lactate. And this is very similar to what Alberto Salazar was doing with Galen Rupp and Mo Farah.
Okay, hold on. Hold that thought real quick.
Yeah.
So when you say little bits of speed, I would just want you to clarify. What does that mean?
10, 15 second maybe even 18-second.
So super short.
Super
Right.
short, so you don't build the lactic acid up, destroy the capillary beds.
Right.
So you stay aerobic. There's a reason why they say speed kills. It's actually twofold.
Right.
If you do too much speed work, you lose aerobic conditioning because of the fact that you
Yeah.
build the lactate up and you destroy capillary beds.
Exactly.
And you destroy your aerobic
And
system.
then, exactly.
So you want to maximize your aerobic system without and build your speed without losing that aerobic flexibility, that aerobic fitness. And so he was, it's so funny because I was looking at Salazar's stuff, what he was doing with Mofar and Ganu up, and I was like, wow, it's kind of lineared, but it's not lineared because he's having him do speed all year round. Because Salazar realized in today's racing worlds, in order to win any national or Olympic caliber race, it's very tactical. You have to have many gears. You have to have speed. If you don't have speed, you're not going to win, bottom line. Unless you're running 12:36 for 5,000 meters, which case then, yeah, you'll probably win off the front. So now with the races being so tactical, Salazar realized, hey, you got to have speed. He worked their speed.
Okay,
They
but
got the gold and silver.
Yeah, but we're talking about Dr. Ernst.
Yeah, so anyways, going back to Dr. Ernst. Sorry I got off topic.
It's
Too much
okay.
coffee this morning.
Little tangent.
But that connection kind of like made me think about stuff that I read earlier. So I went back and looked at some of my earlier stuff, and he popped up, and I was like, wow, man, he had it right way back then.
Sure.
And sometimes this happens.
Yeah.
Guys ahead of their time, they get stuff right,
Yeah.
but then people came in with interval training, and it was like, oh, interval training was the way to do it, and then it's whatever.
Yeah.
They-
And I think that sort of
Whatever.
happens, right? Everybody sort
Theme.
of starts to, right, sort
It's like
of,
nutrition.
integrate their own philosophies.
Correct.
But to think that, to your point, that this guy was already thinking about the importance of aerobic base building, like back in the 20s.
Yeah.
And that he subscribed to that as
Well, he really pushed it more into the 40s, but he started studying
I guess that's true. But,
all the other runners in the 20s.
but the
and
fact
30s.
that he already thought about this and understood, really, again,
Physiology of it.
physiology is a big part of the training process. And I know a lot of runners don't study that, right? Which is why they have a coach or they start reading it. But to know that at a real intricate level and to be able to apply those concepts to your training process is really key. And there's a lot of information out there.
Oh, tons.
And you can just overwhelm yourself, just like nutrition. You can overwhelm
especially
yourself,
nutrition.
right?
Nutrition's
with information,
crazy.
and so
Oh.
it's like that's why I feel like this is really good
So
conversation.
just a quick thing. The thing about nutrition is that we're all different. Our chemistry, our body chemistry, everything is different. So it's one diet might work for you. Like I went on to the carb thing. I did the carb thing for
yeah.
a while, and I felt so unhealthy on it. Oh God, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting off of it, and I'm feeling better. But
Yeah.
so yeah, Van Aaken had it right, and he was successful. And there was some of his stuff which was kind of wacky. Like he wasn't a big advocate of a lot of sleep. He believed that you should only. He believed that body in motion stays in motion,
Yeah.
which is kind of true because frequency of training is just as important as duration.
Yeah, but sleep is key. I mean,
but
we
can-
already know all the studies of sleep. And
Yeah,
its
yeah, yeah,
importance,
yeah.
So deprivation is not the way
No.
to train.
Well, it's not deprivation.
Unless you're a 100-mile runner, and then at some point you probably want to
misunderstood me.
dabble in that. No, I'm not misunderstanding. I'm just saying. Okay. Go ahead.
But yeah, whatever.
So with the other thing you were saying is that the sleep thing was a little different, his
Yeah.
approach to that. But then didn't he do some other interesting stuff? Well, you talked briefly about the fasting. What else?
He
was
was
there
so
any
he
other
was
thing?
he believed that runners have to be very light.
That's right.
I agree. If you look at Froome, you look at all the cyclists now,
Yeah.
they're all built like elite distance runners. They're all 3% body fat, just completely shredded,
Yeah.
super thin, not a lot of muscle because muscle's heavier than fat, and muscle in the wrong areas that aren't going to help propel you forward. I mean, it has some benefit, but you want to maximize the muscles and train the muscles that are going to actually move you forward. You don't want to have big delts. You don't want to have. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not going to help your running. It's just going to slow you down, and it's going to require oxygen.
Exactly.
So he, in his world, like the perfect runner is a very slight runner,
Right.
which is what the Kenyans and Ethiopians are.
Yeah.
yet they're aerobically super fit, which is what the Kenyans and Ethiopians are. And then he's got this just below lactate training, which is what the Norwegians are doing now. They're doing all their
Oh, right.
repeats
Yeah, you were
just
saying
below
that too.
lactate. Matter of fact, the three brothers, his father sits there with a lactate test, constantly tests them
That's
to
right.
make sure that they're
Pricking
staying
their
just
fingers
below it. Yeah.
yeah.
But I
Check
also
the
do
blood.
believe in stress and rest, and I think when you look at training, you don't want to always stay below lactate. You need to build some of it up because that's how you bump it up, right?
Exactly.
So your body overcompensates, just like with training. Have a couple high weeks, have an easy week, so you compensate and you go to the next level. If you're always just kind of right there, yeah, you'll do this slow, steady improvement, but I don't think it's as effective.
Yeah.
I think as long as you can clear the lactic out of your system and stay healthy and make sure you go into an aerobic training phase again to get that, to make sure you're not losing that aerobic fitness, I think that's ideal.
Yeah.
But
Good.
everybody's different, so take this with a grain of salt.
Yep. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's our talk on Dr. Ernst von Aaken.
I like how you said that.
I know. I've been practicing. So, is there anything that
I have a question for you.
what?
Did you eat your Fruity Pebbles?
I don't eat fruity. Oh, because of my hair.
Yeah.
It keeps making fun of my hair. That's okay though. I like it.
Wilma Rudolph.
It's fun.
No,
it's
not Wilma
summertime. It's my summertime view.
Flintstones.
Anyway, you guys are so funny. If you guys feel free to email us comments, questions, topics. We'd love to hear from you. And we're going to be covering Arthur Lydiard next time. Okay, you guys, thanks for checking out the channel today.
Keep running.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and you can follow me at Catch the Breeze.
Or you can follow me on the trail somewhere or at 34 Bites.
All right, ciao.
Adios.